Hi, I'm Danny Collins with 37 North Expeditions.
Yeah, my name is Evan Blaylock, and I also guide with 37 North.
Yeah, we're just super excited to see all you guys so soon and be a part of this amazing event. We are going to share some amazing tips with you for Mountain Mondays to kind of help us all get ready for this experience that's going to be here before we know it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some common injuries and just proper things that could happen while we're actually on the trek itself, right? So most of the common things that can happen, they might seem completely elementary, but blisters and sunscreen or sunburns itself, right? So we'll touch base really quickly on sunburns. Wear sunscreen. You are so much closer to the sun than you realize than we generally are at. And so even if it doesn't seem hot and if it doesn't seem those normal conditions that you're going to the beach and you need sunscreen, you need to wear sunscreen, especially on your face, right? So make sure you wear some and then bring some, right? Spray yourself down really well and bring some extra. If you won't want to bring a big old container like this, just throw a little bit of glops of something into a plastic bag and just put it in your pack to make sure you have some to reapply every hour or so. The other thing is blisters. The greatest thing about blisters to pay attention to is the prevention from even happening. It's not really as much about control afterwards. There's not a lot you can do afterwards. We'll talk a little bit about that, but the most important thing is just prevent it from happening at the beginning. So what you have is called a hot spot, right? That's generally how blisters form. And if you just think about rubbing, right? Rubbing your hands together, rubbing any skin surfaces together, create that friction, that's what causes a blister. So what we're gonna try to do is avoid that from happening in the beginning. Do not show up with new boots or shoes to this track for the very first time. If you're gonna need to get shoes right now, this is an early Mountain Monday, go get them now and wear them. Even if it's wearing them around the house or just to do yard work or stuff, just get your feet used to them. Wear a proper, good wicking type of sock, like maybe a wool sock. Try not to do things that are just going to be super thick and heavy and keep that moisture right there.
So another tip, as far as fabric and material, it's actually pretty important what your hiking clothes and your layers are made out of. So something like Danny's wearing right here, it's breathable, it's lightweight, it wicks sweat, it's not made of cotton. Cotton's kind of our enemies in the outdoor. We don't want any jeans, we don't want any cotton t-shirts, because once those get wet, they stay wet, they don't keep you warm, they don't wick sweat away from your body. So something that's nylon, polypropylene, basically anything that you would take to the gym and work out in, just try to avoid cotton clothing.
And then the other thing is just if you feel that friction starting on the hike itself, stop and readjust, right? Take off your shoe, readjust your sock, apply some moleskin. Right. There's other things like Vaseline or this body glove. These things are magical. I literally just douse my foot or my feet and anywhere else that could rub, my underarms, the groin area, those places that could rub together. Just douse yourself in some sort of Vaseline or body glove. Just keeping that friction from starting from the beginning. But again, and I'm sure Evan feels the same way, if you feel it, stop. Don't feel obligated to keep going or you're going to slow the group down. Stop and reassess, because if it gets out of control, you won't be able to get control of it.
Yeah, just like Danny said, a blister is way easier to prevent than care for down the road. So go ahead and be an advocate for yourself. Stop the group, take the time, and take care of your feet. So kind of along those same lines, just want to talk about any injuries you might encounter on the trail. Mostly you're going to have to worry about sun protection, worry about your feet. Any further medical issue, it's not common, but we do want you to be prepared. We're going to have somebody in your group who's going to kind of take point on any medical incident. But one thing that could happen if there's a fall, injury, you do see somebody on the ground, speak up, stop the group. Before moving on, we always just want to be assessing the situation, see what's going on. So somebody does take a fall, take a spill, take a minute, try to get them in the shade. Don't try to hop back up, or maybe you take a fall. Don't feel like you've got to get right back up and get on the trail and get hiking. Take a minute to assess what's going on. Are you feeling lightheaded, dehydrated? Did you hit your head? Did you hurt your back or your neck?
If something were to happen, either with heart, with head, or with back, right, spine, it's an emergency situation no matter what kind of level it seems to be, and tell the group leader, we're going to get everybody stocked with emergency numbers or way to get a hold of everybody. And just, it's not worth taking a chance. So if anything were to happen with head, heart, or back, we're going to go ahead and just take the precautions necessary. And be a good friend. I mean, if you see somebody, if that happens to them, make sure they stop, right? We've all been in those situations. We don't want to let down the rest of the group, and somebody might try to get up and start going before they're really ready. It's super important. It's super important to just stop, and relax. Again, we're not going at some crazy pace, guys. The goal is to do this together. It's not to achieve some crazy time, right?
Yeah.
And so on that same note, if you're coming in a group, this is very easy to do. Just make sure your whole group's with us at all times, right? You would be surprised how easy it is for somebody that's by themselves to get disconnected from the group in some capacity. And so we're gonna have our trip leaders looking out for that. But if you're coming by yourself and you're doing this hike by itself, find somebody else that's in your group that's in the same situation and just buddy up with them. We call it the simple buddy system, is you hold accountable for them and they're gonna be held accountable for you. And just, again, it's simple. There's not a whole lot to this. We're gonna have fun and just take care of each other.